Welcome to the Embrace Strength podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Crocker. I am an experienced trainer and active life professional. I work with people who are struggling with nagging pain to get back to the activities they love without fear of re-injury. This podcast is here to educate and provide value to you on all things health, fitness, staying active, and personal development. Let's dive in. Hello and welcome back to the pod. Today's episode I have been wanting to record. I've meant to get this out earlier, but the holidays kind of took me for a whirlwind, and so it is what it is. But this episode is super important to me to get out into the world because I'm going to talk about what is an active life professional, what is an ALP, and how is that different from a regular trainer? Because this is hard for me to convey a lot of times, I feel like. And so if I have this episode that I can just send people or people can listen to, I hope that it is helpful in this way. So I'm going to talk about my background as a trainer first because I have been around for a while in the industry, okay? So I first got started in CrossFit coaching group class in 2012. That's how I got my start into coaching. So, of course, I got my CrossFit level 1. I start coaching group class, which is a great introduction into coaching people and how to run a group class. I don't have much beef with the CrossFit certifications because I think they're great at informing you about that methodology and that way to work out. So I am not a CrossFit hater, okay? So that is where I got my start. And I coached CrossFit group class for good 6 years, between 5 and 15 classes a week. And so throughout that time, I also got my CrossFit level 2. I also got my nutrition coaching certification during this time, but there were problems in group class that people were having that I didn't know what to do about. And I started to notice a lot of themes with people. Things like nagging pains, my back hurts every time I deadlift, or my shoulder hurts so I can't get on the pull-up bar, or I can't go overhead, or maybe somebody's squat just continued to look like absolute shit even though I had cued them different ways and tried to do like squat therapy with them and like all this stuff, but it wasn't getting better and I didn't know what to do. I felt stuck. And what about when a person is lifting a bar overhead or is doing some type of overhead movement and it just looks horrible? Like the bar is not in line with their shoulder and there's so much going on. But again, I don't know how to go about addressing that other than giving them different cues, things like that. And so I started to run into these problems and I realized that like a lot of people are dealing with some aches and pains and I don't really know what to do about it. Like I know how to modify up the wazoo. I know we can do a different movement. I can change it to a lower body movement if we're doing upper body or, whatever. But that didn't actually solve the problem. And I am somebody who likes to give people complete solutions and solve problems. Something that I've realized about myself is I love to have a bunch of puzzle pieces and help people put them together and make sense of it and have a complete solution. That is something I realized about myself over the course of my 10-year coaching career. That is what gets me excited. And so I was doing the group class thing, lots of problems, blah, blah, blah. So I did take a break from coaching people in person and was just full-time remote nutrition coaching for a few years. And then in 2020, classic, I broke my ankle and that definitely rocked my world. It was the first time I had ever had a major injury myself and it changed the course of my career. And I say that because it absolutely did. So I ended up, how I broke it was really not exciting at all. I was just like getting down from the pull-up bar after doing some strict pull-ups. It was not high at all, but I had just landed on my ankle weird. I have had issues with my ankles most of my life. I grew up a dancer, and so I feel like my ankles have always been a little bit, like I've rolled my ankles a lot, okay? And in 2019, I actually had a really bad ankle sprain. I think this was the catalyst into what led me to actually breaking my ankle, because I was stepping off of a curb. I completely rolled over my ankle. It hurt so bad. I almost passed out on the sidewalk. Like, it was really bad. It swelled up, but then it got better. But ever since then, my ankle was not the same. I would roll my ankle at least once a week, just literally walking, mildly rolling it and being like, oh, whoops. And so I say that because I'm pretty sure that is what led me to actually breaking it in 2020. Dropping off the pull-up bar, I land on it weird. I knew it hurt, but I was so used to rolling my ankle, I was like, okay, I'm probably fine. And I just finished my workout. I just had upper body stuff left, so I was like, whatever. And then it was like 2 hours later, and it looked like there was a softball on the side of my ankle. And that's when I knew, okay, I probably did something really bad, because this looks bad. So I go and get it checked out. I broke my talus, and I also had a complete tear in my ATFL, which is a ligament on the side of your ankle, basically. So I end up getting surgery and going through the usual physical therapy. Okay, I think I did it 6 weeks. And so as soon as I could walk off my crutches, they were like, okay, you're good to go. Your insurance has run out. Just ease back into it. Okay. So for somebody who has a background in CrossFit, I wasn't doing CrossFit at the time, just mainly strength training style stuff. What does that mean? Because I can barely walk, and I do not even know how to go about entering back in the gym. But my only option, they gave me my options, were like, okay, you can keep coming to physical therapy for 30 minutes and it's $150. And I was like, I just started crying because I was like, okay, I can't afford that. And coming here, is great for right after surgery, but I only see the PT for 5 minutes, and I'm doing exercises in the corner by myself. I don't know how that is actually going to help me get back to exercising like I want to. And so after I have my little cry fest, I'm upset, whatever. I'm like a problem solver, okay? I knew that I couldn't go into a regular functional fitness gym because they're just going to modify for me. I had been in the industry. I've been a trainer for 7 years. I know what they're going to tell me. And so I end up doing my own research and coming across this company called Active Life. They have one-on-one coaching for clients. And so I signed up to get my own coach because I was like, oh my gosh, they specifically work with what I'm dealing with after physical therapy, but I can't exercise like I want. They know how to fill that gap. So I got a coach for myself, and I, through further digging, found that they had education for coaches, to teach coaches how to learn how to do this, how to fill this gap. And it was in that moment, I just knew that this was what I was supposed to do. If I had been working in the fitness industry for 7 years and didn't have any idea how to approach fixing my problem, how many other people out there who don't have experience in the fitness industry are also dealing with injuries that need a coach who knows how to deal with this? And so it was just I knew, I had a feeling. And so I went through their ALP education, and it ended up being, the course is 13 months now, but back then I did a 3-month course and then went into ALP. So it was closer to 15 months of education. And the course just totally rocked my world, even just learning about how to simply assess somebody, okay? Even just looking at their flexibility and mobility before you even ask them to do a squat. When I was coaching group class, we would do intros or whatever, but you'd ask just somebody let me see your air squat. Here's how to squat. Let me see your air squat, okay? But what I learned was we need to take a look at their flexibility and mobility and see if they have the range of motion and ability to be even doing a squat safely. Like, that mindset shift was huge. And just learning that assessment, I could think back to all these clients I had coached in my past, and I'm like, wow, I probably could have helped so-and-so a lot better with their squat if I would have known how to look at this range of motion, or if I would have known this. And so I was hooked right away into helping people in this way and just learning more and more. And I really think that someone like an ALP is so needed, because all you have to do is look at the state of our world. Okay, look at the state of healthcare. So it is not the doctor's problem that they can't give people more than 15-minute appointments. It is how the whole system is organized. It's all about money. Healthcare is overworked and overwhelmed. Like, they don't have the time to go into detail to truly help people in the way that the person seeing the doctor might want. And another part of it is we're fed the narrative of, as you get older, you're just gonna hurt. Like, oh, your back hurts. Oh, that's just how it is when you get older. It just happens. All right, that is not true. All right. How you feel as you age is largely due to your lifestyle more than anything else. All right. And I think a lot of people don't realize that, but just think about it. So remember when you were a kid and you were running around, you were playing outside, you didn't have a job, you were just moving along, right? And then maybe in high school and college, you were doing sports. And so that was your exercise and you were more active. And then fast forward to you're an adult and you are working a corporate job. Like, maybe when you just get started, you continue to work out, but maybe you get more successful and then you have less and less time to work out and you're sitting at a desk all day. And then suddenly you're not even paying attention to how much you're moving and you've gained 30 pounds, right? And so it's no wonder that you might be gaining weight or things might be aching. But it's not because of getting older, it's because of look at your lifestyle that you're living. And so I really want to help educate people that they actually have a lot of control of how they feel as they age. And it's also worth noting that the pain industry is $1 billion industry. I looked up the stats, and the back pain industry, it is $1 billion industry, and it's filled with things like take this shot, have this surgery, take this medicine, here's this like quick fix, here's this tool that's going to solve your back pain, here's the one exercise that's going to fix your back pain forever, right? It's filled with all this bullshit that doesn't even work, but people make money off of it, right? A lot of people aren't told, like, oh, just because your MRI says that you have a slipped disc doesn't mean that you have to be sedentary forever. Like, did you know that just because you might have a slipped disc, like, you may not have to have surgery? Like, you can try other things first. And so that is another point I want to make. And then the next thing I want to talk about just a little bit is the current state of physical therapy. Okay, I'm talking about like a regular insurance-based physical therapy clinic, okay? And again, this isn't on the physical therapist. It is how the system is built. Is you go in for your appointment and you see the physical therapist for 10 or 15 minutes maybe. They do some manual work on you, whatever. They might look at a couple of things, and then the rest of the time you're doing exercises that are very basic, very simple, and you usually have like the PT assistant with you. And there's nothing wrong with that. Physical therapy absolutely is needed. And I'm so glad that we have it, because like that's needed post-surgery. That's needed if you're having certain symptoms. But again, a lot of times people get to a point where they're quote unquote good enough or too good for physical therapy, but then they don't have anywhere to go. It's like their option from there is to go work out in a gym on your own or go to a group fitness class that might be totally inappropriate for you to be doing based on your fitness level. And the only advice you're given is just ease back into it. That's horrible advice because it's not specific. Nobody knows what that means. Like, easing back into it for me and easing back into it for you is going to look like two completely different things. And so that leaves quite a lot of people stuck in this gap between physical therapy and working out how they want, or feeling how they want, living their active life how they want. And the regular trainer, the regular coach does not know how to deal with these things. They don't know how to pick up where physical therapy left off and properly progress somebody. They don't know how to educate somebody on how much discomfort and pain is okay when we are moving versus like, okay, we need to stop and change the exercise. And so these are all things that ALPs are specifically trained how to solve. Like, we solve all of those problems. We know how to listen to somebody's background, whether they haven't exercised in 10 years, whether they're post-surgery, they just got out of physical therapy, they've had chronic back pain all their life, whatever. We listen to what they're dealing with. We properly assess them through a flexibility and mobility assessment, taking them through strength testing, hearing about their goals, what do they want to be able to do outside the gym, what's important to them, and then creating a custom program and plan based off of those things. We're not just blindly throwing programs at people before we even know how their body moves, right? And I think that's pretty common in the mainstream fitness industry, but that is not what people need. And so let me see. Oh, there is another point that I wanted to make here about maybe the person who is stuck in the cycle of every time I try to work out, I get hurt, right? So maybe this person knows that they should be working out and they know that they feel better when they work out, but maybe they've had an extended break from fitness, or maybe they have old injuries that every time they try to work out, they flare them up. So then they rest until it feels better. But then when they try to move again, start being active again, it hurts again. But they don't know what to do about it. And so you're kind of stuck in this like rest till it feels better, work out, move, hurts again, okay, rest till it feels better. And it's kind of like this never-ending cycle of getting re-injured. I think that this is a common theme with people as well. And here's the thing. If that is you, you need an ALP to help you and figure out why this is happening and where is an appropriate starting point for you, right? An ALP is going to meet you where you're at and have you start there and progress you appropriately and safely. And a lot of times people just don't know where they should start. They don't know what they should be staying away from, or maybe their doctor told them to stop lifting because it's bad for your back, or don't lift anything heavier than 10 pounds, right? And so that is also another person that an ALP is fit to help that a regular trainer might not necessarily know what to do. So basically, an ALP is meant to fill that gap between after physical therapy, or maybe you've been dealing with nagging injuries, or maybe you're someone who's had chronic pain for a long time, whether it's back pain, knee pain, hip pain, whatever. And every time you try to do something that you enjoy that's active, like hiking, playing with your kids, running, doing CrossFit, even just strength training, it flares it up, but you don't know what to do. So you're kind of stuck in this gap, right? This is exactly who an ALP is fit to help. We will assess you, listen to you, educate you, and give you customized plan that's meant to be a long-term solution. I was talking about earlier how I love to take somebody's like puzzle pieces and help them put it together in a way that's going to work long term, not just be a fix for 6 weeks or 8 weeks, but actually like let's figure out why you've been having chronic back pain for 10 years and get you to a place where you don't even have to worry about your back hurting. You can do whatever you want and not have to second guess like, oh, is my back gonna hurt after this? And so yeah, I'm not going to make this too long, but I hope this was helpful in better understanding the difference between an ALP and a regular trainer. And if you have any more questions about this or want to talk to me more about it, send me a DM on Instagram or send me an email or reach out to me. Would love to chat more about it with you to see if I'm the right person to help you. And if I'm not, I will connect you to somebody who is a better fit, because my ultimate goal is for everyone to get the help that they need. And I'm not going to sell you something that you don't need. And that's just it. So thanks for listening. Feel free to share this episode with anybody in your life who might have come to mind when I was describing who an ALP works with. Would love it if you shared this episode with them. And yeah, I appreciate you. Talk to you soon.